Hey, it's because I want to do my slants. It's me, Spider. Continuing this video, I am doing a fusion verse of the Asterisk War anime and the Naruto anime. There's two types of fusion verses for me. A pure fusion verse is where I combine two different anime into one seamless one, like the Ghoul Heroes one I used to work on. And then there's the regular old fusion verse, where I take in some characters, change their names up a little bit, and incorporate some elements of the original anime they're coming from. And this is a regular fusion verse. Now let's roll intro and let's get into this video. Let's go. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. These battles take place within the time of the Asterisk War series and during the Phoenix Festa. First one we're looking at in the fighting style is Naruto Uzagiri. This guy went up against one of our best fighters, Amato Amagiri, and he is known for his signature Ochrelic's weapon that he was made for him specifically. It is a weapon that is your standard blade, very standard short sword, but has the special ability to where when he infuses his chakra into it, it extends out 9 whipped blades with sword ends to them, the triangular tipped point, and the two outer ones have the segments of the actual blade on them. He uses this as a range attack, and also whenever he recalls it, he can easily just whip it back by going across his shoulder over his arm and then whipping it sideways and unfusing his chakra from it. That brings it back in one line, but he can also elongate it to where it's the size of a average katana. During the fight with Amagiri, he saw that Amagiri that was using some type of ability, and he could see that most of his powers were being locked away. He knew he wasn't fighting at full strength, so he decided not to fight at full strength either. The reason why he has nine-tailed whip blade is what his weapon's known as, is because of his powers. He comes from a place known as the Hidden Leaf Village, and he is the guardian of it. These people are kind of peaceful, but they all have their own school. They do have their own school for people that want to learn how to fight like this in this world. So they do that. In this school, he had a few other classmates that transferred to the bigger school that was really popular. It was him, his girlfriend, his personal rival of sorts, and an old friend of his that looks like kind of a mean guy, but is a really nice guy, really, actually. And during that fight, Naruto actually lost, even though he was. The reason being is because, unknown to him, Amagiri might not be able to go at full strength for too long, but he can do shorter bursts of a lower tier amount of his strength. So he used that in order to win that fight. This next one went up against Amato Amagiri's girlfriend. And this was Uzagiri's girlfriend. Her name is Hinexia Heifeld. She's sometimes mistaken for Julia's distant relative, but in reality they don't even know of each other. In this fight, she was using hand-to-hand combat while one second, I'm trying to find her name on this file. While Julius Riesfeld was using her signature ability of flames, but thanks to an ability that Hyinexia has, she's able to see the person's weak points, aka chakra points. And most of these are located in the same places on everyday humans. But for people like Julius Riesfeld, there are different locations from her powers. Some on her back, some on her hands, but there's always 3 that stay the same. One on the head, the 8th one over the chest, and 1 in the gut. So, Hyexia launched herself into the field. So did Julius. They clashed in hand-to-hand combat. But every now and again, Julius was leaping back and using her fire abilities to try to roast her, literally. But she always saw this come. But Hyinexia always leapt out of the way, seeing this coming. She was studying her opponent's movements and attacks, looking for an opening for a strike. And that time finally came. She saw that Julius was getting worn down after around 5 minutes into the fight. But Julius also knew that she had to pretend to be a little out of it in order to get the finishing strike. Hyinexia leapt into the fight one more time and engulfed her hands in a mysterious aura. She then went for a punch right over the heart. She managed to scrape her, but not by a whole lot. Julius, seeing this was coming, she grabbed, right when the hit was right above her, she grabbed Hynexia's arm and leapt her over and out of the ring. And Julius won that round. Even though Uzagiri and Heifeld both lost their rounds, they soon, during the quarterfinals, it was a duel fight. And his personal brave and a good friend of his both got paired up with each other, and they both were going to face Julius Riesfeld and Amato Almagiri. His personal rival is someone named as Sailasuke Narchiha. He is able to summon a katana. Well, he has a personal ogre lux that is like a katana. He can use an ability similar to Ryefeld's, but he calls his Rasengan. But it's pretty much the same thing, except he can infuse his chakra with his weapon, also hand-to-hand combat, and also a few other things. But he prefers either hand-to-hand combat or using his blade for the attacks. So he leapt into the fight. He was going up against Riesfeld. She managed to get her hands on nothing really, but she realized that from Amagiri's fight and all of Norichiha's fights that he was a force to be reckoned with. He grabbed his ogre lux and whipped out his blade and rushed at her. She thought by casting a fire attack right in front of her, she might be able to win. But him using his Rasengan, but Norichiha using his Rasengan saw this coming because it also allowed him to see a few seconds into the future in his attacks. So he leapt out of the way and he dodged the attack. But she saw that coming. So she launched another fire spell all around her. a giant fireball, if you will. She then used that as an opportunity to fire multiple blasts and spin them around, trying to get the guy out. But he, realizing that was going to happen, he leapt out of the way, waiting for her to exhaust herself. But she managed to make a little hole so she could see through the flames. She then concentrated all of her attack power that she was using right there and unified into one beam. She then launched it at him, but it wasn't going to hit. The person that leapt into the range of the attack was not a good friend of Naruto's Amigiri, Uzagiri's. His name was Listock McLee, better known as McLee because of his big stature. They just called him that because it was too hard to remember his first name. McLee jumped in and managed to somehow take the force of the attack. But he didn't see another attack coming because in his fight with Amato Aragiri, he realized that Reesfeld was having a hard time. So when McLee was going on with the same fighting style, but it was some type of jutsu fighting style, so he engulfed his hands in some type of green aura and launched at him. He took a few hits, but he also used his own fighting power and punched him so hard he went flying near out of the ring. But that took a toll on Amagiri. He started huffing because he used a little too much power in that attack. So, McLee, seeing this, he decided to take advantage of it. He leapt back in, reeling his fist back. But he was going for a right hook fake out. And Amagiri fell for it. He was going to block the right hook, but McLee faked out like he planned and did a left hook to the side of the head, flying him near out of the ring, and he pretended to be unconscious. Fast forward to the end of the match, where McLee was going to take the hit for Uchiha. He then got hit in the face from Amato Amagiri. He said, I saw that coming. Ray felt I need my help. So, I pretended to be knocked out. He then leapt onto the fight and leapt on top of Uchiha because he didn't see that coming. And he then grabbed his blade, hit him with the butt of it, and knocked him out of the ring. So he then tossed his blade, used Uchiha's blade, and used one of his abilities, and went up against McLee himself with Reesfeld. Reesfeld cast her fireball attack, the same one she used earlier, but she then turned into a beam when Amagiri leapt onto the fight and hit him with the butt of the blade a few times, but also going for a few slashes. When he said, Reesfeld, now! He leapt out of the way, and Reesfeld fired her attack. She needed some time to charge up the attack. So, when he said that, she released her attack. He leapt up just out of the way. McLee's eyes lit up when he saw what was going to happen. He tried to take the hit of the attack and try to dodge, but it was too powerful. It hit him out of the ring with a giant explosion. They both lost, and Amato Amagiri and Julius von Reesfeld won that match. Well, that's all the time I got for today's video. Until next time, subscribe to Adrian's Backstory or Demos Alliance. Bye, and peace out.